Well, internships have an important and sometimes often overlooked role in growing vibrant companies. However, in order to be successful, they need to work for both employer and intern. Dr. Felicity Coughlan, who is director of the Independent Institute of Education, South Africa's largest and most accredited private higher education institution, joins us now in studio. Felicity, thanks so much for your time today. What motivates companies to have an internship program in the first place?
Well, I think that one of the big problems is that quite often companies are motivated either because they feel that they should, or by some sense of tax break or some kind of pressure that they look wrong if they don't. And the whole internship program starts to fall apart from that point.
Okay, so what should be the first thing that they think about when they are setting one up?
Well, the thing that we found really interesting is that it's really important for companies to figure out what they can get out of it.
Okay.
And somehow one shouldn't really be saying that, you know. But internships that work and the ones that attract really strong students are ones in which both the company and the intern are really clear what they're getting out of it.
Okay.
Companies get skills, they get an opportunity to have the opinion of somebody who hasn't bought into the company culture, talk to them about what it's like to be there. There's a lot that company can get out of internships other than just cheap labor.
And students obviously, I suppose, share information back and forth about companies they've worked for before or not.
Yeah. What we find amongst our senior students, for instance, is that they know which companies routinely offer positions to interns. And the strong students then vie for the internships in the following year in that company.
Okay.
So you set up a self-reinforcing cycle. If you invest in your interns, the word gets out. And you're more likely to then attract stronger interns in the following year.
Let's talk a bit about that investment in the intern. I remember when I was doing my internship, I was very lucky in the organization that I worked in is that it was understaffed. So I literally got involved immediately and it felt like work. But what tends to happen in some other organizations where interns aren't really valued, for example?
Well, what happens quite often is that interns are given menial tasks to do or no tasks at all, and they get bored and they spend their entire time on their phones. And what we tell students to do is that no matter where the company places you, whether or not you get value from the experience also has a lot to do with what you do. So if they're not using you, volunteer. Look for an opportunity to be helpful. Speak to people all of the time. So even if you leave an internship not having learned everything you wanted to, make sure you've left with the name and phone number and contact details of somebody to begin a professional network.
And when companies are setting up those internships, what should they be saying to their existing staff about these young people who are coming into this professional environment?
Well, the first thing is that they should be allocating enthusiastic staff to,
yes.
You know, quite often interns are kind of passed on to people who have no interest in the internship. So I think the management message needs to be really clear of what the value is in the internship for the company. And then they need to be saying to them, well, what can we extract? This is an ideal opportunity to find out what people outside feel about our company when they come in. Staff retention is a big topic at the moment.
Okay.
You've got an intern for 6 weeks who can tell you what it actually feels like to be new in the company.
But also, I suppose, if you're into youth products, you've got a young person who will tell you whether, as a customer, this makes sense.
And whether the way that you're approaching the market speaks correctly to them, whether you provide the work environment that would attract young talent, whether issues of diversity, institutional culture, work-life balance. Here are people that'll give you the truth. And they'll give you the truth up front because they're not nervous, in a sense, of being viewed as somehow anti-culture or anti-establishment.
Paying. We know the recent controversies around payment, whether it's a stipend or there's an actual salary or unpaid internships. So what is your view on payment?
Look, I think that the reality is that many young people who are in internships are desperate for the experience. Now, I don't think that gives any organization the right to exploit them. So I think it really depends on the kind of internship. If it is a placement as part of a work-integrated learning experience, I don't think students expect payment. Some kind of gesture, meals or whatever would obviously be greatly
Transport
valued.
stipend
Exactly.
or something like
but
that.
But if it is, say, a post-graduation opportunity for which somebody is actually claiming tax benefit, to then be giving them the bulk of that tax benefit to a broker so that they can manage the admin around the internship is just wrong.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks for your time today. Dr. Felicity Coughlan is Director of the Independent Institute of Education.